Hello Stampers, this is Sheila with Stamping Wishes and welcome to my studio. Today you're joining us in our June Glitter Queen blog hop, and the theme this month, it's all about men. And yes, with Father's Day right around the corner, we thought that would be appropriate for our blog hop. But before we get started into what I'm making for this month, I wanted to let y'all know that our new catalog is out by the time this video is coming out. Very excited. And if you don't have a demonstrator and would like one and would like a catalog, I am offering for the first 5 orders that come in this month that I get a confirmation email, I will send you out a catalog with the spiral, and it is laminated, so the book will hold up all year long. It makes it really nice when you want to flip over and turn it around. Everything is real nice in there for you. So if you don't have a demonstrator and would like a catalog, I'll be glad to get that out. And like I said, the first 5 will receive its spiral. The others will be just our regular catalog. All right. In addition, this month you will be seeing my retired stamps come out, and I should have a place on my blog where you can go down and request whatever stamp sets or purchase whatever stamp sets. And the way I'm doing it this year is I'm going to do it a BOGO. So what that means is that if you order, let's say I'm going to say you find $25 in a retired stamp set that's on my blog, and if you order a new item through my store at Stamping Up and at my blog Stamping Wishes, you will be, once I get confirmation of your order coming through, then you will be mailed free a retired stamp item. There will be postage, but the stamp set itself will be free. If you'd like further information on that, be sure and contact me, and I'd like to go over it with you further. So let's go ahead and get started with what we're doing today. All right, so this is the card that I've already made, and we're going to make it a little different. It says, "You're the best," and then when you open it up, it says, "Relax your way. Being a good dad starts with being a good man." And I thought this was really cute using the new stamp sets that we have. I'll real quickly show you what I used in this particular card. I used the Sellaway trinkets. I used the Blueberry Bushel, the new Seaside Spray color, the Sahara Sand. I used the new twine that comes in that package there, the Sailing Home, and a Good Man. Both just really fantastic stamp sets. So that's what I used on that one. And what we're going to be using or making today, I decided we're going to use, and let's put this aside until we're ready for it again, the Geared Up Garage. It's become one of my really favorites. I used both the Thinlit dies, and I used the Cling Stamp set. And along with that, for parts of it, I'll show you what I've kind of put together here. I've got my little bucket. I wasn't sure what I'm going to do, so we're going to kind of be doing this as we go. And so I've cut out some gears, and we're going to be doing on my let's see where it is, the silver piece here. We will glue the gears to it, and then I'm going to emboss it through the hexagon, and I know that has retired, but it's an actual perfect perfect embossing folder for this, and it's an inlaid embossing because these will be glued onto here, and then we'll take and run it through the embossing folder. And then I have some other little gear pieces that I've cut out. I've got some thoughts in my head of what I want to lay out, but we'll be coloring the car, and I've got all kinds of different little things here, so we'll see what we end up with when the card is done. All right, so really the card is very easy. The only thing that you have to keep in mind, and I'll kind of go over some of the measurements, is you need one of your pieces to be 5.5 by 11. And then you need the inside piece, which I've drawn some here, and I'll be showing you the measurements and how I did that. But this one measures 5 1/4 by 10 1/2. And then you have a piece here which measures 4 1/2 by 4 1/2 in the silver foil. This is going to be for the inside. This one measures 4 1/2 by 4 1/2. And then this particular layer for the front measures 5 by 5. And I'll have all of the measurements on my blog. So be sure if you're looking at this through YouTube that you do click over to my blog for all the information and details of the card and supplies that I use. Okay, so what you're going to do is this, if you notice, once you get your piece, you're going to fold it in half, and you want the folded side facing you. And that's when you'll be doing measurements. Let me get these out of the way. You'll be doing measurements as I did and went ahead and drew to save some time. You want to draw over a 1/2 inch on each side, and then you draw up 1 1/2 inches on each side. Then you'll come over a 1/2 inch on each side. Then you will come up 1 inch on each side. Go over a 1/2 inch on each side, and then you're going to go over 3/4 inch on each side, and you'll match these pieces. So this is how we're going to be cutting it and folding it to get it ready for our inside. Okay, so what you're going to do is come along these lines, and these lines won't show, they're going to be in the inside, so you don't need to worry about that. And you'll cut both sides up. Okay, and then you want to take a ruler with a sharp edge on it, or a kind of a flat edge that will bend, and you want to come across here and burnish that up so that you get a nice fold. And then what I'll do is take my bone folder and give it a good going over. Okay, and so let's go ahead and we'll do this, and then I'll make it easier for you to see what we're doing here, because these will start the stepstones of this particular one. Okay, so once we turn it inside out like that, then we're going to cut the next piece, which is right up here. So let's go ahead and get that cut. And you're just coming up to that next 1/2 inch mark over. Okay. Okay. And then on this one, you're going to do the same thing as far as you want to bend it. This over there. All right. So that's your next one. Okay, and then so that I can get this folded, we go to the next side, which is right here, and we're going to cut that one. Okay, and then we're also going to, and this one's kind of folding that way, so I'm not going to use the ruler on it, and you want to burnish it. Okay, so that when you get done with this and you have your card, if you'll notice, let's go ahead and pop it up here and get all my pieces. I kind of got a little carried away with bending and maneuvering it, but that's okay because it'll all show up right. Okay, I've cut this down to 3 3/8 on the width, and it's still the same diameter of, I guess was 4 1/4. So we're going to go ahead and stamp up the little piece that I had earlier. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's see if I can get this straight, hopefully. Okay, that looks about even. Perfect. Okay, so that'll be adhered to. Let's go ahead and get that adhered. And I do like to use my liquid glue, so liquid Tombow, so that I have enough room to maneuver a little bit. Let's get these in here. Bring it just a little bit more this way. That looks great. Okay, so we'll go ahead and put that down there. Okay, and then let's start laying out some of these pieces. I thought your classic would go real nicely here. And what I did, if you're wondering on these, on our new, where are they at? There are new stitched nestling dies, and I don't have them over here. But anyway, there's one that has a little strip on it, and it gives you that stitch look. So what I did was to stamp me a piece, and I am using on the shimmery white, and I went ahead and embossed those stitched emblems across there because I kind of figured it would go nicely with that. So let's go ahead and adhere that. And I went ahead and I thought what might be kind of fun to put on each side is I took a scrap and cut a little 1-inch circle. So I figured that would go there, and then this one would go here. So let's go ahead and adhere these onto our little black 1-inch circles. I wanted them to be able to pop off because I was afraid the silver might blend in a little bit too much with the shimmery white. And I am using the silver foil, one of my favorites, the foils. And you could virtually use any of them, whichever you think that you would like. So let's go ahead and adhere this next onto our next step there. Okay, let's go ahead and put this down so that we can get a better view of what we're doing. And make sure we center this correctly. I think that looks good there. Okay, and I'm not going to do, because we've got so much bulk in here, I could do dimensions, but I think it might be a good idea not to. So I'm just going to put adhesive on part of this wheel just to tack it onto this side, because again this is going to be folding down, so I don't want to mess up the mechanisms of what I'm working on. And as I said, we're making this card as we go. I haven't made this one. I've made the design of it, but not the card itself. So that's what's fun about creating, is just go with what the flow is and what feels good to you. Okay, so while those are drying, let's come up with, I've got, yeah, I think this would look good. What else? Okay, why don't we take this, I stamped this with the black, and then I came back, and this is one of the die cuts that you get with this set, and I cut it out first to cut this inside, and then I cut a second one with the silver foil so I could get that. So let's go ahead and get this piece on next. I hope y'all will be as excited about our new catalog as I am. I'm just ecstatic with the new items that we have. And of course I've got mine started to be marked up on my wish list so that I can get mine a long time. And I'm real excited too about the BOGO that I'm having with my retired stamps. I have held on to my stamps for several years. Some of them are newer, but some of them, you know, will go back a few years, you'll notice. but they're in very good shape because I like to keep my stamps in good loving shape, and I hope that the next person who gets them will enjoy them as much as I have enjoyed them. They have all my stamps. I like to collect stamps, and I still have quite a few left, even with weeding through a few of the ones that I've placed up there. So there's our best dad. I think that looks great. And for our last item, I've got some of our embellishments from the classic garage metal embellishments. So why don't we go ahead, and I think glue dots might be the best bet for this. Here, glue dots right here. So let's go ahead and we'll put I think the key, we'll kind of fold that over so it won't be on the outside. Let's put a key right here. How about that? Yeah, I think that looks cute. Isn't that precious? Okay, so let's go ahead and now decorate the outside of the card. And what I want to do is go ahead and get this folded in and placed. And as you know, you're going to place your first piece. Let's move that out of the way. When you place this first piece in, you're going to want to get it bumped up against your curve so that or against your folded area, so that when it closes, everything will close real nicely onto it, okay? So what I'm going to do is put my adhesive right here on the back, because you don't want to get it all over all your areas, because then you'd be messing up your mechanism. So I'm just going to put it where it needs to stay firmly down. So let's go ahead and move this on over here. Lay that down so that we can get this right up against where we need to get it up against. And move it a little bit this way and then a little bit that way. That looks good. Okay, so now we'll go ahead and close this down, make sure it still fits good, and it does. And now what we can do is put our other adhesive, now that we've got everything lined up, we're going to put that adhesive just in these solid areas. Don't get it into your mechanism again. And then we'll close the card down on it so that it dries where it needs to dry, and touches on the card where it needs to touch on it. So let's go ahead and burnish this one more time. Give it a good pressing. And then there we go. Isn't that beautiful? I'm so excited about it. Okay, so let's go ahead. Now we need to glue our gears down, and I like to use my adhesive. I've got a pegboard in front of me. That's why I'm grabbing things from in front of me there. But I like to use this because I'm going to want to, and you could use your, what is it, the adhesive sheets. But for the sake of time and everything, what I'm going to do is just run some of this over it. And I will use my piercing tool or my bone folder tip to make sure that if I get any of the glue, which you can see right here will go across, I want to make sure that I poke that out of there so that it's not on the card itself. So I just kind of stick a tool down in there. And I know I should be using my new tool. It's over there. I've got it. I have to show you this cute little package that another, and I'm sorry I don't recall her name right now. I can look it up on my email. But she made a casing, and it has stamping with Sheila Stamping Wishes. Isn't that precious? And so it has all my tools there, so we may have to grab that out a little bit later. Okay, so on the gears here, let's kind of put them right here. I think would look good. All right, and then we have these gears. We could put, let's see how we're going to do this. Make sure I'm using the right gears that I've got here. Maybe this way, and then what we'll do is pop up the car right about here, and that way all the gears will show up on it. I think that'll look nice. Or, well, wait a minute, because we have to put our Happy Father's Day on there, which I wanted to do into kind of an offline. So there, or do we want it up here? I think up there. And then maybe this gear there, and then our car would look nice there. Okay, so I think that's what we're going to do, but I don't want to inlay my other pieces. I'll get that out. That's kind of hard to say together. Okay, so let's go ahead and put a little bit more on here. And here. So let's poke those out. And what I do with my tools after I've done this, I just take and run a little bit of alcohol through it and stuff, and it works real well. So let's go ahead and put this one over here. And let's go ahead and put that there. Okay, so I'll be right back. I'm going to run this through the embossing folder. Okay, as you can see, I've inlaid embossed it. I had this first, as you saw, I adhered it, and then I ran it through the embossing folder, and you can run it through any embossing folder of your liking for it. So now we're going to go ahead and adhere this to our next layer. Now be sure when you're going through that you stop by all the ladies that are participating in the Glitter Queen blog hop and see their fantastic projects as well. They're very talented women in this group, and I think you'll enjoy going around to the different blogs and seeing what they have to offer in their blogs. I haven't been able to blog as much as I would like to, and I'm hoping to find that time now. I've had just, as they say, life happens, right? And so I've not been blogging as much as I would have enjoyed to. So isn't that beautiful? Okay, so let's go ahead and add the Happy Father's Day. And what I want to do on this is, like I mentioned, I want just a little bit of the black background, just shadowing at the bottom, not all over. And then I think we'll put this up with dimensions, would look real nice. So let's bring those over. Okay. Hopefully I'm not getting my head into. Make sure I get it straight. Great. Okay, so now let's go ahead and real quickly color our car. And I'm going to be using, I think I want to use, let me test out the color a little bit on some paper. I don't know if you can see that. I'm going to bring it up just a little bit. How pretty that sparkles, just like a paint job would be done. Okay, so now we want to go ahead and pop this up on dimensionals. And we're just about done with our card. And like I said, pop on over to my blog if you're watching this from YouTube, and I'll have all the supplies and measurements over there for you. Okay, so I think we want to put it right about there. Looks great. All right, so here's our card. Let me move all this off. And I had cut out some extra pieces, and it looks like one of my things wasn't quite dry there, but that's okay. I didn't know if I wanted to put some more of the what looks like hubcaps on the corners, or if that would be too much. But that anyway, that kind of shows you there's other things for you to do as well. Okay, so there's our card, and thank you for joining us today in our blog hop. This is the one here, and here's the other one here, and lots of fun, lots of different things that you can do with it. But until next time, happy stamping.